Only minutes away from Lake Michigan, the emergency department at Hud Family Hospital provided for 100% of the urgent health needs inside the Chicago Loop. The ER department cared for nearly 75,000 patients each year, including serious injuries, as a Level 1 trauma center. The walk-in entrance opened onto a busy Chicago sidewalk. Rich or poor, if it was urgent and you were downtown, you wound up at HUD. Its entrance had once been used for the popular TV series ER. Inside delivery room 404, Chase Staples was struggling. He was stuck in Mama's pelvic girdle. At the worst possible moment, the umbilical cord had coiled itself around the unborn child's neck. With each contraction, the cord tightened and completely shut off blood flow until releasing its grip. Only then would it allow oxygen into the baby's starving brain. The staff attending the birth had seen this case many times before. The results were almost always tragic, unless there was a doctor present who knew what to do. With appropriate case management by an OB doctor, the babies emerged without injury. But Chase's doctor hadn't arrived at the hospital during those minutes when the case was begging for proper management. Still, Chase was viable and without injury, though he found the womb hot and suffocating. His lungs maintained a stasis with the liquid inside Mama's womb, while his birth instinct fought to engage with the canal, to maintain oxygen to the brain, and to enter the world. It was all anyone could want, a fair chance at a new life. Nurse Andrea Mounts shook her head. LaToya Staples, the birth mother, was poor and black. Not the best status for top-notch health care, Nurse Andrea knew. She watched as her patient's hips shot upward. LaToya Staples was in mid-contraction. Her fists were balled, knuckles white, and her back arched against the battle rampant in her midsection. She was 26, but right then would have passed for 45 by the pain lines on the face. Gravida 3 para 2. 3 pregnancies, 2 births. She was expending everything she had for this baby. In her chart it was noted that she had 2 other children, ages 4 and 2, and that her husband John was 10 years her senior and drove a Chicago tour bus for Blue Line tours. LaToya was a graduate of Roosevelt University with a degree in early childhood education. She had taught preschool in Chicago when her own kids were in attendance. Teaching allowed her to do one thing that she loved more than anything: mothering. She was excited about this pregnancy and almost giddy to see her new baby, Chase, whom she knew was a boy. For husband John, who was 36, this latest child was a welcome addition, even though later in life by some standards. John suffered the Iraq strain of PTSD, where he'd served with distinction as a Humvee operator. He was honorably discharged with partial disability. LaToya's hospitalization was paid by John's Health Blue Line Tours health plan, of which HUD Family Hospitals was the preferred provider. LaToya gritted her teeth against the contraction and clamped her eyes shut. "It takes everything I have this time," she said to the nurses. "This one is special." With all strength summoned, she pushed down as instructed and continued to breathe on command.